We stand apart, sometimes, from those we cherish, from those we have known intimately. A subtle chasm opens, an invisible space between, and in that space our minds often project emptiness, a void, a silent, aching absence where laughter once echoed, where whispers once intertwined. We believe something has been lost, something taken, a connection severed, a passion extinguished. This perception, this feeling of absence, it can be deeply unsettling. A quiet ache in the heart, a question mark hanging in the air, weighted with longing or regret. We look across this perceived void and feel a kind of resignation, a quiet sadness. But what if this is a profound misunderstanding? What if our eyes, accustomed to seeing only the tangible, miss the most essential truth? What if this distance, this apparent emptiness, is not empty at all? What if it is, in fact, alive? A vibrant, pulsating field of energy that simply waits to be felt, to be understood, to be honored. I invite you to consider a different landscape, a different way of seeing, a way of feeling. Imagine, if you will, the profound silence within an ancient forest. Stand between two towering oaks, their branches reaching, their roots delving deep. The space separating them, it seems empty, an expanse of air and dappled light. But is it truly empty? Or is it a vibrant, unseen tapestry, a network of subtle currents, the unseen exchange of whispers carried on the breeze, the shared memory held in the very soil beneath your feet, the quiet, persistent hum of life's interconnectedness? That space, it is not void. It is a conduit, a witness, a participant in the unfolding dance of existence. So it is perhaps between a man and a woman, even when physically apart, even when words are unspoken, even when years have passed, creating what appears to be a vast expanse. This silence between them, it is not a dead silence. It is a living silence, a breathing space, a quiet hum that vibrates with an unseen energy. It is a sacred canvas, awaiting our conscious presence, a space where the unmanifest waits to be perceived. This living silence is filled with a subtle vibration, a resonance. It carries the echoes of what was, the ghost of a touch, perhaps, the memory of a shared gaze across a crowded room, the warmth of a hand held long ago. These imprints, these energetic signatures, they don't simply vanish into nothingness. They linger, they hum softly in the space, like the faint scent of rain after a storm, or the distant memory of a melody. They are present, they are alive, they whisper of history. And more than echoes, this vibration holds invitation, a quiet promise of what could be, not a demand, not an expectation, simply a gentle, persistent hum of potential, a sense of leaning, a subtle pull, a recognition. It is the universe remembering itself. Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. It is the inherent truth that all things are connected, that resonance seeks resonance, that light remembers light. It is a deep, soulful recognition that transcends the limitations of space and time, a current, ancient, and ever new. It is the very pulse of creation, seeking expression. We often lament the fading of passion, the loss of that vibrant spark. We blame time. We blame circumstance. We blame each other. We look to the external, to what is visible, to explain this inner dimming. But what if the true journey of loss began not outward, but inward? What if we, in our modern rush, in our endless doing, in our forgetting to simply be, have slowly, gently, subtly left ourselves? We become disconnected from our own vital current. We sever the subtle threads that link our mind to our body, our spirit to our senses. We start to live predominantly in our heads, analyzing, planning, worrying, and the rich, sensual landscape of our inner world becomes neglected, overgrown, its pathways obscured. We cease to listen to the quiet wisdom of the body. We ignore the subtle signals of our own energy. And in this self-abandonment, in this internal separation, the creative life force within us begins to stagnate. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the animating force that flows through every cell, the joy of simple existence, the capacity for wonder, the spontaneous impulse towards connection. It is not just the physical act that diminishes, it is the inner glow, the radiant warmth that emanates from a fully connected being. This isn't about performance or expectation, it's about presence, about being fully here. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It is not merely a biological imperative, a primal urge to consume. It is the soul's yearning for connection, for expression, for the dance of creation. It is a sacred language spoken in whispers and subtle stirrings. And if we are not listening to our own soul, if we are not attuned to our own inner landscape, how can we expect to hear the call of another? How can we expect to feel the vibrant current that seeks to flow between us? We cannot give what we do not cultivate within ourselves. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he ceases to gaze upon the world and upon the woman beside him with reverence and curiosity, when he stops seeing the sacred in the ordinary, the magic in the mundane, and the vibrant life in the quiet spaces. His power, true power, is not in domination, but in grounded, conscious presence. And a woman, her power does not diminish with time. It transforms, it deepens, it becomes richer, more potent. But she loses it when she forgets her own sacred rhythm, when she denies the profound wisdom of her own body, when she silences the deep intuitive knowing that resides within her. So I invite you now, in this quiet moment, to simply slow down, to pause. Let your awareness settle, not on what is external, not on what you perceive to be missing, but on what is internal, on what is felt, on the subtle, undeniable pulse of your own being. Take a breath, a deep breath. Let it fill your lungs, expand your chest, soften your belly. And as you exhale, let go. Let go of the rush. Let go of the shoulds. Let go of the stories of loss and longing. Let go of the tension held in your shoulders, in your jaw, in your heart. Just breathe. Feel the subtle currents within you, the gentle pulse of your own life force, the warmth beneath your skin, the quiet hum of your own existence. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her entire being becomes a conduit, open, receptive, harmonizing with the rhythms of the earth, the moon, the very cosmos. She connects to an ancient wellspring of creative energy, a soft, powerful radiance. And a man, when he breathes deeply, connects to his root, to his center. He doesn't need to strive. He simply is, grounded, present, a pillar of calm strength, not from rigid control, but from deep internal connection. This breath, this conscious, deep breath, it is a bridge back to yourself, a bridge across any perceived distance. And as you settle into this deeper awareness of self, begin to gently extend that awareness outward. Feel the space around you, not as empty air, but as a living medium, a subtle energy field, responsive and vibrant. And then, if you wish, bring to mind that other, that man, that woman. Not their image, perhaps, but their essence, their energetic presence, even if it is only a faint echo in your memory. And feel it. Feel the space between you, the physical distance, the emotional distance, the distance of years or miles or unspoken words. Does it still feel empty? Or can you sense a faint hum, a subtle warmth, a quiet thrumming, a gentle pull like an invisible thread connecting two points of light? This is the living silence. This is the subtle vibration. This is the truth. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. This space between, it is not just anticipation, it is not just memory, it is the very current of life itself, flowing, pulsating, waiting. It is a testament to the enduring, unbreakable bond of energy, of spirit, of soul. It is a reminder that even in stillness, even in separation, life continues its sacred dance. The distance between them vibrated alive, not with tension, not with longing, though longing may be present, but with the pure, unadulterated flow of existence. It is a space for healing, a space for understanding, a space for remembering, a space for love to simply be. A vibrant, fertile ground where connection can deepen, not despite the distance, but often because of the conscious awareness born within it. It is here, in this quiet, vibrating distance, that intimacy can truly begin. Not as a forced closeness, but as a gentle, tender awareness of the energetic tapestry that weaves between you. So let us shift our perception. Let us cease to fear the distance. Let us instead honor it, listen to it, feel its subtle hum. For it is in this living silence, in this vibrating space, that the deepest truths about connection, about love, and about our own essential nature are revealed. It is a sacred space, waiting for your gentle, conscious presence. It is a reminder that the current of life, of passion, of creation never truly ceases. It simply waits for us to open our hearts, to deepen our breath, and to remember the vibrant life that flows eternally between all things. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. And so, we find ourselves here, in this quiet space, perhaps sensing a subtle shift, a feeling of something missing, something that once burned so brightly, now merely embers. We touch, perhaps, or we simply exist in the same room, and yet the vibrant hum that once filled the air between us seems to have quieted. The distance between them, once a canvas for passionate connection, now feels like a silent expanse. Where does that living spark go? That incandescent energy that once ignited everything it touched, our laughter, our tears, our deepest intimacies. It's a question many of us carry, a quiet ache in the soul. We look back at moments brimming with an undeniable aliveness, a profound sense of connection, and wonder where that current has receded to. It doesn't disappear. No, not truly. Energy, in its very essence, cannot be destroyed. It simply transforms. Or, in our case, it often freezes. It becomes a still, cool pond where a vibrant river once flowed. We feel it, don't we? That subtle stagnation. The way the air itself seems to thicken with unspoken words, with the weight of things left unsaid year after year. Each silence, each swallowed truth adds a tiny pebble to the stream, until the flow slows and eventually stills. Think of the layers that accumulate, silently, almost imperceptibly. The heavy blanket of fatigue from the relentless pace of modern life, draining our reserves, leaving us too weary to truly reach out. The unspoken expectations, the subtle disappointments that settle deep within, creating quiet resentments that build like sediment. And then there are the fears. The fear of vulnerability, of being seen completely, of being hurt again. We carry old wounds, sometimes from childhood, sometimes from past relationships, sometimes even from moments in our current connection where our hearts felt bruised. These fears, like unseen walls, slowly begin to encircle the very core of our being, protecting us perhaps, but also isolating us. We become afraid to feel too much, don't we? We learn, often through painful experience, that to open ourselves fully, to surrender to the intensity of desire and connection, can be to risk being burned. So we pull back. We temper our emotions. We guard our hearts. We dim our light, just a little, thinking it will keep us safe. But in doing so, we unwittingly diminish the very energy that sustains us. The current that should be a vibrant, surging flow of life, of creative passion, of deep intimacy, becomes a stagnant lake. And when energy is blocked, we don't lose sex alone. That's a common misconception. We lose something far more fundamental. We lose vitality. We lose the very essence of aliveness that makes us feel human, vibrant, and whole. We might still perform the rituals of daily life, go through the motions, but the sparkle, the zest, the deep sense of meaning, it begins to fade. Have you noticed how the world around you can seem less vivid? The colors less bright, the music less resonant? This is a sign. When our inner wellspring is blocked, our capacity for wonder diminishes. We stop looking with that wide-eyed curiosity, that innocent delight with which we once met the world, and indeed, with which we once met each other. Remember that initial gaze? That moment when everything felt fresh, new, imbued with a profound sense of possibility? That is the wonder I speak of. That is the open channel of energy. Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. It is the fundamental call of life seeking to connect, to merge, to create. It is the purest form of recognition, a primal knowing that whispers, "You are part of me, and I of you." When we block this inherent attraction, this natural pull, we are not just denying a physical urge. We are denying a fundamental aspect of our spiritual and creative selves. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. It is a powerful current, an exchange of essence that nourishes not only the body, but also the soul. When this current is obstructed, we feel it in every facet of our being. Our creativity may wane. Our inspiration may dim. Our very sense of purpose can become clouded. Because the same energy that fuels our most intimate connections is also the energy that drives our artistic expression, our professional ambitions, our desire to make a difference in the world. It is all one vast, interconnected flow. Desire, then, is not merely a biological imperative. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It is a yearning not just for physical touch, but for profound connection, for being truly seen, truly felt, truly understood. When we silence this language, when we dismiss it as merely lust or something to be controlled or suppressed, we silence a part of our own soul. We deny its longing for expansion, for union, for the ecstatic experience of being fully alive. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her entire being becomes a vessel for this vital current. And a man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder. This isn't about physical prowess. It's about the vibrancy of the spirit, the openness of the heart, the willingness to engage with life's mysteries. To reclaim this flow, we must first acknowledge where it has become stuck. We must gently, without judgment, lift the layers of unspoken words, of quiet resentments, of lingering fears. We must allow ourselves to feel, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. For it is through feeling that we begin to thaw the frozen parts of ourselves. It is through conscious presence that we invite the current to flow once more. This journey is not about finding quick fixes or techniques. It is about remembering who you are. It is about understanding the sacred nature of the energy that pulses within you, the same energy that brought you into being and sustains all of life. It is about re-establishing that bridge between your body and your soul, allowing them to communicate freely, to dance together in harmony once more. The spark is not gone. It is simply waiting for your gentle touch, your conscious breath, your willingness to look with wonder again. It is waiting to be coaxed awake, to remember its own vibrant nature, to ignite the world within you and between you once more. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. And so, we find ourselves at the edge of a profound question. What is this energy that hums beneath the surface of our lives? This magnetic pull, this quiet stirring, this ache for connection. For many, it has been reduced, over time, to something small, something purely physical, a mere function of the body. But I invite you to pause, to breathe with me now, and to feel into something far grander. This is not simply a biological imperative. No, it is the breath of life itself, a current so ancient, so fundamental, that it predates all language, all form. It is the very pulse of creation. Can you feel it? It moves through every living thing. It is the silent force that urges the seed to push through the earth, that guides the rivers to the sea, that draws the moon to the tide. It is the magnificent, relentless, beautiful surge that brings all things into being. Think of it. The universe itself, in its vast, unimaginable expanse, is an expression of this primal creative impulse. From the birth of a star blazing into existence, to the delicate unfurling of a fern in a forest glade, this energy is at play. It blossoms in every petal, whispers in every leaf. It is the astonishing miracle of birth, whether of a child, a galaxy, or a simple thought blooming into an idea. This energy does not merely facilitate life, it is life. And within us, it manifests as desire. But let us be very clear. Desire, in its purest, most untamed form, is not the body calling. No, it is the soul singing. A deep, resonant melody that vibrates from the very core of your being. It is the soul reaching out, remembering its own boundless nature, yearning for expansion, for connection, for the exquisite dance of creation. It is the quiet knowing that there is more to experience, more to become, more to give. When we speak of the connection between a man and a woman, we often speak of passion. And yes, passion is a magnificent facet of this jewel. But between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. A sacred current, a vital stream that nourishes, transforms, and elevates. It is an exchange, a meeting of two unique streams that, when allowed to merge in truth and reverence, create a river far greater than the sum of its parts. This current, it is a profound healer. When we allow it to flow freely, unburdened by shame or fear, it washes away the dust of disconnection. It mends the subtle fractures in our spirit, restoring a sense of wholeness that we may have forgotten. It inspires. Think of the greatest works of art, the most profound acts of compassion, the most daring leaps of innovation. How many of these were born from a heart opened by love, by connection, by the vibrant thrum of this very energy? It connects us to a primal, untamed power that resides within each of us, a wisdom that our ancestors knew intimately, a strength that is both ancient and eternally new. For too long, attraction has been shrouded in guilt, cast as a weakness or even a sin. But I ask you to consider another truth. Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. It is the fundamental law of magnetism playing out in the most intimate corners of our existence. It is the echo of the great cosmic dance, the universal pull that brings particles together to form stars and souls together to form connections. When you feel that pull, that spark, that recognition in another's eyes, it is not a call to transgression. It is the universe affirming its own interconnectedness. It is the sacred mirror reflecting a piece of yourself back to you. This is not new knowledge. It is not something to be learned from a book, though books can guide us. It is a knowing that has always lived within your cells, in every fiber of your being, in the silent whisper of your DNA. This truth resides. It is the ancestral memory of belonging, of unity, of the divine play of creation. It is why, when energy is blocked, we don't just lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose our spark, our joy, our creative edge. We lose the very current that makes us feel alive, vibrant, and deeply connected to the world around us. Consider the simple act of breathing. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her entire being resonates with the rhythm of the cosmos. And when a man allows himself to look with wonder, truly look, not just with his eyes, but with his heart, he doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he stops seeing the sacred in the everyday, the divine in the human form, the eternal in a fleeting moment. This energy, this sacred current, is not something you must chase or acquire. It is already within you. It is the wellspring of your being, waiting to be acknowledged, honored, and allowed to flow. It is the quiet wisdom that understands that sensuality is not just a physical act, but a state of being, a heightened awareness, a deep appreciation for the textures, the sounds, the tastes, the very essence of life unfolding around and within you. It is the art of truly feeling. When we allow this current to move freely, it transforms not just our intimate relationships, but our entire existence. It infuses our work with passion, our friendships with depth, our solitude with peace. It becomes a source of inspiration, a wellspring of strength, a constant reminder of our intrinsic connection to all that is. It empowers us to create, to heal, to love with a fierce and tender open heart. It reminds us that our bodies are not mere vessels, but temples, sacred spaces where the divine dance of life unfolds. To reconnect with this current is to remember who you truly are. It is to embrace the fullness of your being, to reclaim your inherent power and beauty. It is to recognize that the desire you feel, the longing for intimacy, for closeness, for profound connection, is not a flaw or a weakness. It is a signpost, a gentle invitation from your deepest self, urging you to open, to explore, to allow life's most exquisite energies to flow through you, enriching every moment. It is the art of truly feeling. When we allow this current to move freely, it transforms not just our intimate relationships, but our entire existence. It infuses our work with passion, our friendships with depth, our solitude with peace. It becomes a source of inspiration, a wellspring of strength, a constant reminder of our intrinsic connection to all that is. It empowers us to create, to heal, to love with a fierce and tender open heart. It reminds us that our bodies are not mere vessels, but temples, sacred spaces where the divine dance of life unfolds. To reconnect with this current is to remember who you truly are. It is to embrace the fullness of your being, to reclaim your inherent power and beauty. It is to recognize that the desire you feel, the longing for intimacy, for closeness, for profound connection, is not a flaw or a weakness. It is a signpost, a gentle invitation from your deepest self, urging you to open, to explore, to allow life's most exquisite energies to flow through you, enriching every moment. This journey back to understanding is not about techniques or external fixes. It is about an internal shift, a gentle turning of attention towards the sacred within. It is about listening to the whispers of your own soul, honoring the natural rhythms of your body, and recognizing the profound reverence that is due to this most vital, most creative, most sacred energy. It is about allowing the distance between body and soul to simply melt away, revealing the unified, vibrant being you were always meant to be. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We speak of currents, of unseen energies that once danced between us, vibrant and alive. But how, you might wonder, do we invite that exquisite flow back into our lives? How do we touch that living pulse once more, not as a memory, but as a present, breathing truth? It begins not with striving, my friend, nor with any forceful effort. It begins with permission, a gentle, quiet allowing, an opening rather than a pursuit. Turn your gaze inward, softly. Let your attention settle upon your own body, not to judge, not to analyze, but simply to feel, to sense the subtle hum, the quiet stirrings within. Listen to the rhythm of your own breath, deep, slow, a sacred anchor. Notice how it expands and contracts, a gentle tide inside you. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her very being becomes a resonant chamber, receiving and giving in harmonious measure. Allow yourself to feel without expectation, without the need for a particular outcome, just the raw, exquisite presence of sensation. This requires courage, yes, the courage to truly inhabit your skin, to acknowledge those unspoken desires that whisper from your core, not as demands, but as tender urgings of the soul. For desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing, a melody of life seeking its full, vibrant expression. And a man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when the spark of curiosity, the awe for the mystery of existence dims, replaced by certainty or perhaps by resignation. To reclaim that power is to reclaim that sense of wonder, to see the world and yourself with fresh, open eyes once more. Remember, attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself, calling out in recognition. This deeper current, this profound connection awaits your gentle invitation. And touch, touch, not as a means to an end, not driven by expectation or a final goal, but for the sheer sake of presence itself. A hand upon skin, a shared breath becomes a communion. A silent language where between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. A creative, healing force. For when energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the vibrant essence of our very existence. This path is not to an external source, but to the inner well, to the wisdom that has always resided within you. It is a return to your own authentic pulse, a journey back to the sacred source of your being. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. And so, we arrive at a space not of absence, but of stillness. A quiet pause where echoes linger. Have you felt it? That subtle vibration, a faint, almost imperceptible hum beneath the surface of your everyday existence. It speaks of a profound connection, a living current that has always been there, flowing just beyond the hurried reach of our conscious thoughts, our daily anxieties. This is not about searching for what is lost, for something external to be found, but about noticing what has merely been veiled, perhaps by years of expectation, or the quiet accumulation of unexpressed longing, of forgotten dreams. We often imagine passion as a sudden, unpredictable spark, a flash of lightning that strikes and then, just as quickly, fades. But what if it is something far more enduring, more fundamental? What if it is more like a river? A deep, ancient current that not only flows through us, but shapes the very landscape of our being, carving valleys and nurturing fertile plains within our souls. Between a man and a woman, yes, but also between any two souls truly attuned to the subtle symphony of existence, flows not just transient passion, but life itself. It is a shared breath, a silent understanding, a whispered secret that the body remembers, even when the mind, preoccupied with its many tasks, chooses to forget. This current is the very pulse of creation, alive in the quiet space between two hearts. Consider, for a moment, the profound simplicity of your own breath. That rhythmic inhale, that gentle, complete release of the exhale. When a woman breathes deeply, truly deeply, allowing the air to fill her lungs, her abdomen, her very essence, life breathes with her. Her awareness expands, fills her every cell, every curve, every hidden valley of her being. And in that conscious expansion, that full occupation of her own inner landscape, a sacredness emerges. Her every movement, no matter how small, how unconscious it might seem, becomes a prayer, a subtle unfolding dance, a reverent acknowledgement of the life force animating her exquisite form. This is not performance, nor is it striving. It is simply being, utterly present, utterly alive in the flow of her own energy. And a man, in his own unique rhythm, in his own profound stillness, holds this same sacred current, this same wellspring of creation. His breath, when he allows it to deepen, to connect him not just to his physical body, but to the deep, resonant earth beneath him, to the vast open sky above, becomes a conduit. He doesn't lose power when he ages, when the lines on his face deepen and his hair grays, when his stride perhaps slows. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he ceases to see the profound mystery held within his own skin, within the powerful, vulnerable gaze of another, within the world around him. True power is not about force, but about presence, about the quiet strength that comes from embracing the full spectrum of one's being, from the wisdom that resides in the heart. We have been taught, often subtly, sometimes overtly, to see desire as something inherently problematic, something to control, to suppress, to chase relentlessly, or even to deeply fear. But what if our understanding has been profoundly limited? What if desire is simply the most primal, most honest language through which the soul speaks? A yearning not for an external object or fleeting gratification, but for connection, for wholeness, for the vivid, undeniable pulse of life itself to rush through us without impedance. It's an inner compass, a deep, instinctual knowing, guiding us towards integration, towards a more complete experience of our own humanity, a longing for alignment between body and spirit. When this profound energy, this vital current, this very essence of our aliveness is blocked, whether by fear, by judgment, by past hurts, or simply by inattention, we don't merely lose sex. We lose vitality. We lose the creative spark that ignites our projects, our dreams, our very sense of purpose and joy. The world around us begins to feel duller, the colors less vibrant, the music less resonant, the taste of food less satisfying, the touch less electric. The distance between us and our own essence vibrates, not with life, not with potential, but with a quiet, persistent ache, a sense of something missing. It's a loss of that vibrant, undeniable aliveness that makes every single moment precious, a profound disconnection from the wellspring of self. This is precisely where the gentle awakening begins. When we stop fearing our own power, our own immense, awe-inspiring capacity for feeling, for profound connection, for creation, life begins to flow again, with an ease and grace we might have forgotten. We have often been taught to fear this power because it feels uncontrollable, wild, perhaps too vast for our neat, small definitions of what is acceptable or safe. But this energy is not meant to be controlled in the conventional sense. It is meant to be honored, to be cherished, to be channeled with intention, and most importantly, to be allowed to simply be, to move through us as it was always intended. Think of it as an ancient, powerful river that has been dammed, not by external forces, but by the walls we've built within ourselves. Walls of shame, of expectation, of self-doubt. The water doesn't disappear, it simply waits. It gathers strength, longing for release, for its natural, unimpeded journey to the sea. Our vital energy is no different. It waits patiently for us to remember its sacred inherent nature, to trust its deep wisdom, to simply open the gates and let it flow. This remembrance is not a search for something new, a frantic quest for a forgotten magic. It is a profound, quiet return to the eternal, to what has always resided within you, a birthright of being, deeply woven into the fabric of your soul. Attraction, then, in its purest form, is not sin, not a temptation to be resisted, but a sacred echo. It is the universe remembering itself. It is the magnetic, undeniable pull of two halves recognizing an inherent wholeness, a deep resonance that calls forth the very best in us, challenging us to expand, to connect, to be more, to become more fully ourselves in relation to another. When we allow this attraction to be understood not just as physical hunger, but as a spiritual recognition, a profound energetic alignment, the distance between souls begins to soften, to dissolve into shared light, into a profound sense of belonging, a quiet understanding. It's in these moments of soft remembrance, of quiet allowance, of gentle surrender to what simply is, that intimacy truly returns. Not as a forced act, not as something to be engineered or performed, but as a natural, exquisite blossoming, like a flower opening to the morning sun, revealing its innermost beauty without effort. The questions you carry within your heart: why does passion disappear? How can intimacy truly return? How can desire become a source of inspiration, strength, and creativity again? Find their most profound answers not in rigorous seeking, not in external techniques, but in this gentle surrender. in the simple act of opening to the current that has always been there, waiting for your attention, waiting for your trust, waiting for your quiet permission. This journey, this gentle awakening, is not about mastering techniques or pursuing external validations. It is about a profound internal shift. A willingness to inhabit your body fully, completely, to feel its subtle currents, its vibrant hum, to listen to the quiet, insistent whispers of your own soul, to honor its deep wisdom, to allow this current to fill you again, to truly feel how your every movement, your every conscious breath becomes sacred, imbued with meaning and grace, a profound connection to the divine within and around you. It is in this profound allowing that the healing begins. In this space of gentle self-acceptance, the vibrant, creative life within you stirs, ready to rise, ready to express itself. Imagine that warmth, that subtle, undeniable hum, reawakening in the deepest, most cherished parts of your being. It flows through your veins like liquid light, settles warmly in your heart, expands with a soft radiance in your chest, in your womb, in your very core. It is a quiet, steady fire, not consuming, but illuminating, guiding, transforming. A pure, undeniable source of inspiration, strength, creativity. The unfiltered, unadulterated essence of you, returning home to yourself, whole and incandescent. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken.